Hello, Quest. Good to see you again this week. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend. I know that life gets busy and sometimes everybody can't make it to Sunday morning every week. But I think the gathering together is really a valuable, important, and dynamic part of our lives. And so I want to encourage you in a culture where that's become less common. I want to encourage us to do that, not because we want to make sure our institution of Quest continues and doesn't get undermined. You know what, as an institution, we really don't care. But as the body of Christ, as Christians together, to love each other, encourage each other, be together, there's something really dynamic about that. So just want to encourage you to, in a sense, be a part of that gathering. But what I want to do is I just want to review real quickly and kind of wrap up our series that we've been doing out of Matthew chapter 18. It's this really incredible chapter that talks about life in the kingdom, life in the community of believers. And now there's a lot more to be said in the New Testament and in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament about what it means to be part of the body of Christ. But in this particular section of Matthew, we find that he gathered together some of the things that Jesus said to help us understand what he was calling us to in this thing called community, or being brothers and sisters, as the scriptures would talk about, of being a family. And so they're just really important. And so it kind of came as a result of this question that the disciples were asking. Well, they weren't asking it, they were actually arguing about it, about who is greatest in the kingdom. And they were beginning to kind of try to take positions and put themselves above each other or the others. And so, and Jesus, I think, thought, man, you guys are really missing it. What in the world? So he responds with several things. First of all, he says, the one who's greatest among you is the one who is humble like a child, isn't competing for position, isn't wanting to put down others, who humbles himself. He knows who he is. He knows who his God is. He knows who others are. And he understands the commonality that we have as mankind and how we need to really allow God to be God and let ourselves to be his people, that he's in charge, right? That's the first thing he says. Second thing he says is, the one who is great is the one who does not cause others to stumble, who doesn't get in their way, who doesn't begin to present the gospel in a way that it actually isn't, who begins to suggest life in a way that's destructive and hurtful and painful. And sometimes they do this. There are wolves among the sheep who are trying to draw them away or draw them towards even themselves rather than God himself. And those who cause believers to stumble, he says, I'd be better that I put a millstone around your neck and drop you in the sea. That's pretty strong language, right? So do not be causing others to stumble purposefully. And after that is in your own life, the sin that we have, the tendency to walk away from God and walk separate from God. He says, deal with that severely. Don't let it go. Don't excuse it. Don't make it soft. Don't make it easy. Deal with it. Because that'll really create a life that's really worth living for you. Then after that, he basically says, now, people do have a tendency to sin. And there are people who are in danger of being lost. And he says, like God the Father, I want you guys to go and find them. Get them. Don't let them be lost. Care for them. Leave the 99 on the mountain and go find the one who is lost. Go engage them. He continues, though, in talking about the fact that there are some who not only get lost, but begin to undermine the fellowship. And their sin hurts the entire group. And he says, I want you to have enough courage and enough conviction and enough compassion to go and confront them. Go one-on-one. And it says if you win your brother, if he listens, you'll won your brother. That's where it stops. Doesn't need to go any farther. Be great. Be rejoicing. If they don't listen, take a couple of people with you. And get them to be a witness to it, to be able to interact, give their own perspective, encourage them to come back. And then if they don't listen to that, take it to the church so that you can begin to deal with it as a group. We hope and pray we don't have to get there very often. But once in a while, when it needs to happen, it can be done humbly, out of concern and care, but we need to do that. Now, this week we're going to wrap up by talking about the need for forgiveness. And the unique thing in this passage coming up this week is not only our need for forgiveness, but our need then, when we're forgiven, that we would pay it forward and forgive other people. That's the powerful thing of it. We need to be like Christ and pay it forward. We can't pay him back exactly. It was a free gift. It's grace, right? We don't do anything to earn God's love. He gives it freely. But he says, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pay it forward. Give that forgiveness to other people. Okay? So that's kind of a wrap up. We look forward to seeing you this weekend. Now, Diane and I are not going to be there. We're going to be in Florida. Diane's dad, who's 94, is experiencing congestive heart failure, and things seem to be slipping away. So before it was too late, we wanted to go and be with him. So we will see you the following weekend. But if you'd be praying for Diane's dad, that he would really would have a good time talking about the things of life with him. I'd really appreciate that. All right. Hey guys, take care. Love you. See you soon.